So hi to the rest of the world from Jan and me. Jan, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about logistics and what to look after if you're planning for this situation. So if we zoom out a little bit more, or have a look at the whole city of Vienna, we have right next to the planning area, there's the Haidinger, which is like the main connection to the Danube from Vienna to ship to the rest of the world. And also right next to our building area, there is the railways and of course also streets. So that's the perfect place to use all three of these possibilities to transport to different areas of the world. If we zoom a little bit in more, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but
yes, we can see you.
Yeah. So this, just this is the planning area. Like 10 minutes, if I remember correctly, to the Haber. So no distances, but you of course have to also think about getting the containers or the pieces, whatever you're building the model from, to the Haber. So it's not possible to put your modules or whatever directly on the ships, kind of, except you use cranes or whatever. But this might be too much in detail already. This is, if we go through all the different possibilities or the situations, this is the water streets of Europe. Well, there are more, of course, but the main is to the North Sea through the Rhine and through the Donau to the Black Sea. We kind of used the example or had more focus on using the Danube, or let's say the final destination would be Ukraine because of the war. So we use this as an example which of these different possibilities to transport stuff from point A to point B to have a more precise or better think through of these situations.
Yes, so now we are talking about the train connections or the train net that is European-wide, really well built. So as you see, there are a lot of different corridors, and especially in the area of Vienna, there are a lot of connections to transport cargo by train. There are some connections to Ukraine. We don't find exactly data about the direct connections, but there will be a few one if you see on the right part.
Oh, sorry. Oder willst du das nächste haben? Is he gone?
We cannot hear you, Jan. Okay.
Sorry, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Now.
Okay, sorry. I think something was wrong with my headset. So yeah, you can carry on to the next slide.
All right.
So here are the dimensions of a trailer. So if you want to carry large cargo like containers or boxes or modules, you can relate to these dimensions as you see in the red box. Next one. And here's a pendant to the train transportation. So there are different kind of wagons, but almost these dimensions are relatable. Yeah. Next one.
What probably needs to be added is, and we didn't add this information last time we had the presentation, is that on the example of Ukraine, they have a different width of the rails. So if you're using the rails to transport stuff, you have to put the transported goods onto another train.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also important when you transport cargo by train that you pack it right, because you have different height and weight proportions. So, for example, if you have a really high cargo that is almost 3 meters or more, you have to tighten it, because you have this issue with the tunnels, that you can use the whole rectangle as you see, and as well you have to pack the weight is also the weight have to be even on the whole deck, so there's no imbalance on the wagon. Yeah. Next one.
So to come to the waterway, this is probably everyone knows these classical 20 or 40 feet in length cubes. Maybe I'll directly go to the next slide, which is a bit better in overview. These are the different options to transport stuff, and the third one is the cubes or containers. In the end, even if you compare these three options, there won't be any limits in ways of length, because I don't know what you're planning to do, but the most little you know what I mean, length you can transport if the container, which is 12 meters, and if you think of a beam, 12 meters is already a respectable length. But if you need more, you would use the rails. But all three of these options are pretty even. The only difference is the length. The width and the height is about the same. And if I might add, because my mother is working in let's call it logistics sector, and talked some minutes to her about the example of Kiev, and she said that usually, even if it's more cheap to use the waterways, usually you use the trailers to transport stuff, because in the end, on one hand, of course, there's always the time aspect of it, because on waterways it takes 5 days to transport stuff. On roads, it's only 1 day. And as I've mentioned, the more important part is that if you pack the stuff directly onto a trailer, you can go to every place. Of course, there's a radius, because you don't want to go for 10 days with the trailers. But in the end, because of the more flexible ways to reach the final destination, and you don't need to take the goods from trailer to the ship or the other possibilities, you usually take the trailers. But if time doesn't matter, and even if it might not be that well known, still the waterway is the if you have a look at the climate aspect or the CO2 aspect, the most efficient way to transport stuff. Yeah, that's for this topic. Thanks.